Walking Dead with Joel and Jeremy. My name's Joel.
I'm Jeremy. We are brought to you by Comeuppets Network. You can check out all of our social media sites at thishishowtowatchtv.com and email us at twdwithjoelandjeremy@gmail.com. Any comments? I mean, come on, feedback. Give us something to talk about.
Right, we're in a bubble as far as this show goes. Also, if you want to support the Jay and Jack Network, go to jayandjack.com/network or jayandjack.com/iTunes to sign up for all the iTunes podcasts, or the Apple podcasts, I guess is what they're called now. And if you want to become a patron and subscribe in any form or fashion on there, Patreon is the link after, jayandjack.com/Patreon then. I can't think of any other things to plug. So, Walking Dead, Season 8, Episode 4. Some guy. I mean, when it's put like that with that title, it makes me realize what the episode was. It was
as soon as you said it. It was
like,
wow.
The de-kinging of Ezekiel.
The dethroning?
Yeah, sure. I mean, he's not been dethroned, though. It's more about him being the king. Like, he's just going to be Ezekiel.
Act. Well, you know what? Yeah, it might be better that way, though, because then he's not the same thing as Negan.
Right. When
it comes to those two characters. Because basically, even though he wasn't a fucking evil guy like Negan was, like, you know, he was still the same thing. It was basically the same thing, an act to get people to follow you. I liked his better than Negan's.
Right.
But
I don't know. Negan's act is pretty good. It's the killing side and the brutality side that's...
Yeah, but still, no, he's a lot more annoying than King Ezekiel. I can deal with the whole... henceforth...
Oh, the speeches?
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah, because he started with one of those. He started with a, and yet I smile speech.
I mean, like an extra long...
Yeah, these were like the... So they've been chopping this season up in terms of the order.
You said you wanted to watch it chronologically.
I would like to watch at least the last couple seasons chronologically. I don't need everything all the way back to the beginning, although that would be awesome too. But I would.
What was chopped up about last season? I don't remember that.
I mean, I can't remember specifically at the moment, but the way they told certain stories, like, for example, going from Glenn getting knocked off of the thing and then come right back to it, like getting knocked into the sea of walkers and then ending up under the garbage can.
Didn't they wait a couple episodes to go right back to it, though?
Exactly.
I thought they did.
Exactly. So we would see that whichever stuff happened
last
before.
Season?
Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Like,
the season, you know what?
Make it less confusing.
It's just because of the 16 episode season seemed long now that you think about it. Like when you see a show that has 22 or 23 episodes a season, you're like,
damn, I can't get through that.
Like it just seems like, wow, like that's really long now. But
that's probably why I'm
going to stick with the 13. I've always talked about that with Game of Thrones, and I thought Game of Thrones should have been 13 episode seasons.
Yeah.
Three more episodes to tell that story per season.
1/4 of the
would
year
have been way better.
A quarter of the year needs to be. Yeah, not 3 less each season. That's a different rant for another day. But anyway, yeah, so we see Ezekiel do his whole...
and jumped it all over the place with how many episodes
That's
they had.
where I was going with it, is that in Chronologically Lost, which we also podcast, anyway.
Right. You can plug my wife on here. It's
no,
okay.
I was just saying, I wasn't trying to do that. Right. I was just saying, like, that helps you understand the show better because you literally just see it back to back. Like, stuff that you thought happened didn't happen, and stuff that you might have thought didn't happen did happen, but because you're seeing it one scene on the island right after the next.
Right.
And not jumping away or waiting for that person's episode or blah, blah, blah. I mean,
it's just all just happening.
It just makes, I mean, I understood the temple 1,000 times
Did you
better.
ever read, I'm sorry we're getting off subject here, but did you ever read, like, how long it took that person to cut that up? Whoever did that
a year,
made that?
Over
it took them
year.
a year?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, because you have to,
that's insane.
You have to have all those
kudos.
Separate...
Like, I'm not saying that there's...
that they're stupid? No, you just said it.
I didn't mean to sound derogatory when I said that. It was... complimentary, like wow, like that's I mean, it's to be able to understand.
You'd have to have
101
video projects open, and at any time be willing to find a new piece and go, okay, well, where does this segment go? Where does this scene that I just watched go in this whole timeline? And then find that in there, and then boom, put it there, and then you'll have to watch through the whole thing to make sure it all makes sense before you can release it. And,
well, from what I've seen, like it does make sense.
It does, yeah, for sure. So anyway, King Ezekiel, we see him doing his whole king get up,
Right.
the dreads in the morning,
Getting the whole
shaving,
the whole
the whole
outfit on,
costume. He gives the speech, and then he's surrounded by the kingdom, like, his fighters, his little army there, like a guy normally surrounded by walkers.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
boom,
yeah.
it cut to the.
It was
him
a
laying in
cool
the pile.
cut. The way,
it was
yeah.
a badass. I was not
Yeah.
expecting that. So the soldiers protected him, and they got fucked up by those bullets. Like, those tore through all those people's flesh. It's kind of ridiculous how wounded they were.
Wounded.
Well, you know what I mean, like ripped
there was
apart.
giant. I mean, like
An arm was laying there.
softball size holes in these people,
Yeah.
and there's body parts and stuff. But you know what, dude? Like this, like a 50 caliber bullet is. I mean, if you saw one and you picked it up, you'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, oh, they
like,
showed them
why
in
would
this
anybody
episode.
ever create anything that fires these at light speed at somebody?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
But yeah, these things are meant to take down fucking tanks, dude, not just people. Like,
Right.
but yeah, you get hit by a 50 cal.
So, he realizes they're reanimating, and then he starts fucking backing out. It barely can go to the
It
opening.
cuts to the opening, right?
Yeah. And then he's butt scooting away from the herd and uses his gun as a crutch, and he has to start shooting him, but only has one bullet, and one guy remains and helps him to his feet. I mean,
And it was
we
Negan.
didn't
It was
see-
a Negan guy.
No, that wasn't a Negan guy.
Oh no, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, not to that guy
One
yet.
of the Kingdom guys helped
Right.
him. The guy we saw like hugging his wife goodbye. Like they went through all that too. They gave us all the people's goodbyes.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we
Yeah.
don't really know many people in the kingdom. I don't know. Eventually, like, I'm loving the war part of it, but it's weirdly making me want to see some minutia episodes. Like, give me something like just in Negan's shed with him or whatever trailer they're
We'll
in.
get that. I think we're just
They
waiting.
teased it in the next episode, in the teaser for it. It wasn't on this, but
that we're finally going back
Yeah,
to
so we're going
Negan
back
and
to Negan.
Gabriel.
yeah.
Okay.
So they're at the outpost, and inside it's like an abandoned school as they
So
pack
did
up their
did,
weapons.
Did
That was
they,
the first
take
thing I
some
thought
fan
of.
feedback or something? Like let's do a little less Negan.
Well, I don't know. I think maybe he has to be there at the beginning and ends of seasons or of arcs
I get it.
because he is the big bad at the moment.
But yeah,
so-
but they tucked him away real neatly just now for the beginning of this season. He was
Right.
in the first 2 episodes. And they're like, yeah, you're going to hide away for... Well, it's only 4 episodes. What was he was in the first episode and then he's been gone since...
Was it the first one?
It was the first episode, I think, that they got trapped in there. We haven't seen him since.
Oh, his shit in pants. So that was the end
Right.
of episode 1.
Right. When he gets locked into a trailer with a dude who has a fully automatic, like, fucking AR-15 assault rifle, and he's got fucking Lucio, but, like, he
Yeah.
wins that fight?
Right,
Like,
Gabriel's
why
not
doesn't
gonna-
Gabriel just be like...
Because Gabriel
Done.
doesn't want
He
to
does. Come on, he's
kill
a killer.
people. Yeah,
come
fair
on,
enough.
fuck that.
he is.
Negan, like come on. This is the guy you went after.
Yeah.
Let's just end him right there.
So Carol, they showed the bullet shells, and they were fucking massive.
They're massive. Yeah.
She sneaks in and climbs into the ceiling. So we were talking about it earlier when we were watching it, and like, for me, the scariest part of that whole thing would be the couple seconds of climbing into the ceiling, making sure you can get up there, whether you're in that room or not. Even
Well, yeah.
just that's
in case somebody just walks
you're
in
at
there.
your
like,
most
yeah.
fucking vulnerable, and like they
Right.
see feet going into the ceiling, and then the tile closing.
Just start right.
Done.
Yeah.
You know,
But no,
once she's up there,
Carol's gone from battered housewife to cold-hearted assassin in like this whole season arc. So like,
I'd
I'm
say
talking about for the
assassin
whole-
with a heart of gold.
whatever you want to call it, but like she's not making that mistake at this point.
Right.
You or I might.
That was
you know what I'm
exactly
saying? Like,
why I was
we
saying it,
knock
yeah.
a box over and create all kind of noise trying to get up there. She didn't make
fuck.
a fucking sound, man. She's
No.
an assassin. She's fucking
Yeah, that's
been
what
through
she
this shit
does.
already. She knows she survives. All right.
So yeah,
So,
she
but, like-
kills them all, and
Waits for them all to line up in a line. Just fucking mows them down like
Right.
ducks, dude. Da-da-da-da. It's fucking crazy. But then the other dudes run in like, grab the guns. Let her go. What?
yeah, don't worry about her. I mean, like I said, if they knew they were going to quickly get in a vehicle and get the fuck out of there, fine, maybe don't worry about her. But I don't think that's the case, and clearly it wasn't. They were taking forever to load the guns up.
I mean, jeez.
It took a long ass time to load the guns with how many people there were. There must be some heavy ass guns, and maybe that's why
they have
Daryl's like, yeah,
tripods,
no,
like
we
they
don't
have
got
to be
them.
put together and shit. Which, like, kind of like jumping ahead in the episode, kind of like bugs me with the part like that he just in a moving vehicle was able to quickly assemble that 50 cal machine gun in the back of that truck. Like they showed them taking them apart and loading them into a box, like taking them apart, like with like a bolt and like taking them apart. Like, so he was just like,
well,
like ready to
I'm
go.
going to
like,
posit maybe they had one mounted back there already.
I guess.
Just, I mean, it is.
It looked like
Negan
it was in a
vehicle.
box. We didn't see him carry one out there like that.
Yeah,
you're saying it was there previously.
Yeah, like on
I guess,
the back, mounted on the back of the Humvee.
I have to watch
That would
again,
make
but like when they
sense.
were loading it in the back of the truck, I didn't see that.
Oh, I wasn't paying that close attention to that. That's great.
I guess, okay.
So, King Ezekiel's asking about Shiva. They walk around and see a herd, and someone shoots the guy helping King Ezekiel, and it turns out to be Barb from Stranger Things. That's where she went.
So, like, should I say spoiler alert? Because if you're watching
We're
or
watching
listening to
this
this, you
episode.
should have already watched it. But, like, somehow I had a feeling like it was either going to be King Ezekiel or the stupid tiger
That we're gonna
by the end
die.
of the fucking episode,
Yeah,
which really pisses me off.
yeah.
Yes. Rest in peace, Shiva. Shiva.
I feel like that's equally disrespectful as just if you just flicked her off singing that song to her,
What? 'Cause-
just because it's from the League. As
well,
opposed to
and then
the-
like when he told the story again about the tiger, I was just like,
yeah, so that's what he was doing. Or wait, no. This was Barb from Stranger Things. He takes his blade and he wants to use the big guns to fix the situation at the sanctuary. So, like, go there and kill all the walkers and, let Negan out or whatever.
So he wants to be the one to save Negan.
Right.
of
I
course.
think everybody would want to do that. I mean, he is Negan, so he's got to save himself. He, he asks Barb if Negan even knows his name, and he says he is Negan, of course. And like you said, King Ezekiel said, "I won't be used against my people." Who else said that?
Sasha said that when she was locked in the cell and she was pleading with Eugene to give her a knife or a gun or something
Yeah,
so she could
that
end
she
her own
couldn't
life.
be. Okay. Yeah.
So like,
So Barb acknowledges that he played his people with the Tiger King shit. Like, it just all kind of fell into your lap, huh? You know, he's kind
Well,
of
it did,
picking him
yeah, I
apart.
mean-
This dude's, he's smart enough to know that. Maybe he's
but like,
been
and he was
debriefed.
also like kind enough to like continue to lead these people.
Right.
Like he could have just been like, you guys are fucking crazy. Like I'm not like I'm an actor and just been done with the whole thing.
Right.
But like he created a community, like
Yeah.
like in like a thriving community. Like you have to be somewhat.
So much so they're still following him even though they're dead.
In poor taste.
Right. Well, that's literally what the next
Yeah.
line was that I had written down. That was what happened next. They're just following him and they're still dead. Carol's trying to make a move, but is being shot at. All those bullets at the truck
I
and
love
not
how-
one is shooting out the windows. I mean, it took till the last couple thousand shots for them to shoot out the window.
yeah.
I mean, give me a fucking break. And they were just making little holes in the side of that, but blowing. Oh, those weren't the 50 caliber.
No, those were just regular guns. You can't hold a 50 caliber machine gun with your hand.
Okay.
Yeah. It's on a tripod. The kickback would knock you over. Like, if it wasn't mounted on the ground, like you would shoot that gun, you would go flying backwards.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound fun.
No.
King Ezekiel nearly kills Barb, but falls. Like, he tries to grab the thing from him and, doesn't do well.
Yeah.
And Negan wanted King Ezekiel, the widow, and Rick chained to the sanctuary fence. Again, the officer, or the sheriff, or it would have been so much cooler sounding. The king, the widow, and the sheriff.
The sheriff, right.
Then
Or
Barb,
Officer Smiley.
and then now the last of Barb is she gets cut in half by Jerry.
I mean, not cut in half at the waist.
Like, yeah,
cut in
split
half
down the middle.
vertically.
Yeah.
Right.
And then takes a second swing.
And then he takes a second swing.
Maybe.
You got him.
But maybe he wanted to cut him clean in half, and it just stopped right above the crotch, and then he just
Yeah, he
took
just
one
had to
more
finish
hack
it off.
so it would split and fall.
Just fall. They
Yeah.
didn't show that either.
Gross.
Like they didn't show the dead body on the ground.
Carol pulls some shit, and she ends up luring them into trusting her enough to one guy come around to her. She takes him hostage and then uses that as an opportunity. He gets killed, and then she hits the button.
He's like, come on, guys. And she just throws him out there and they just mow him down.
Right,
Dude,
yeah,
like-
please don't.
Right. She hits the fence button and opens up the for the walkers to come in.
Yeah, and then they come in and sneak up on them and take most of them out. There's 2 left, and they're going to bail out of there. But she sees, and she confronts them like she's going to kill him. But then she sees King Ezekiel over there stuck at the fence with Jerry and goes to try to help them out.
Which is okay, makes sense.
Right. I mean, Jerry's protecting the king, and he calls him His Majesty, and this is where King Ezekiel's starting to lose his will to be the king, I think, where he's like, you don't need to call me that. And he's like, dude, yes, I do. And, he can't get through the fence. He breaks his battle axe, which sucks.
Yeah, it was mad, yeah.
And
but then he sticks it in the walker's eye.
Right. But then he was just like hitting him in the side of the head, and it's like they're not that decomposed. They just died.
It's just blunt force trauma.
I mean, I guess
the people that did just die, though. You're right. Like
it's not like they're weak walker flesh, from 7 years ago.
Like the ones in the forest later.
Let's see. Jerry thanks King Ezekiel for being such a cool dude.
Right.
I mean, good stuff in the midst of all this.
Love Jerry. Was so glad that Jerry wasn't one of the ones that got killed by the 50 cal.
Yeah. We go to a flashback and see Carol and King Ezekiel discuss if he's ever fought before, and he says he's trained for a long time and he's ready to will himself into what he must become.
But he says he fought a marauder. He said,
yeah?
But he said he fought him, and he said that it was him and then Shiva. So like he hadn't been in a fight against another human, like we were discussing couple podcasts ago about being a fight with another human being for your life, like that had never happened without assistance for him. Like the tiger would always run up and save him. Yeah.
So he said he was talking about that moment. So this is as close to the flashback as we're gonna get.
Right.
He explains that he was working at the zoo and he saw the tiger hurt. And
I'm sure he told this story before.
I don't know if he told it like this.
Not in this way, but he did tell.
He did
Carol
mention the hesitating.
No,
I think that was what was important here.
Okay.
He said, "Look, I looked at my life and thought, what kind of person will I be if I don't do this, and what kind of person will I be if I do this?" And I wanted to do it. I wanted to be the one who did it. So if you're asked to be the hero, be the hero. And he's like, "Have you always been this strong and brave, or did you just decide?" And she's like, "Yeah, I just decided."
Yeah.
And that's true. I mean, it was a great way to frame it, because nobody wants to, like, if you're like, you used to be this kind of person, right? And they'd be like, nobody would want to have that conversation, really.
No,
I like the way he frames it so it's a positive.
Right.
And to get the answer he wanted, which is, yes, I did I did decide I'm going to be this person, so you can do it too. Fine, I get your point, King. The walkers approach until Carol takes them out, but in doing so, she lets them leave with the guns.
Right.
She lets them in the fence, and she's confident they won't get the guns to the sanctuary. And we kept hearing a noise. And
well, it was like it took a couple times to rewind it back and hear, because like you hear like an engine in the background.
Yeah.
But like they
should
have showed that. Like, they should have showed Daryl fly by on the motorcycle, and she kind of smiled and was like, "Oh, they're not getting away," or whatever, And then you hear the engine in the background. I was like, "What?" For a second, I was like, "Is that outside? Like my house? Like is that? What is that?
Is that what you meant?"
Yeah, that's what I meant. I couldn't figure it out for a second.
Yeah,
but then the next thing you see Daryl on the motorcycle. Oh, that's what it was. It was the sound of the motorcycle. Rick and Daryl chasing
the Doppler effect, of
chasing
it being
the guns down,
further away and going past and all that shit.
Right.
So what did you think about the first Walking Dead car chase? If it is the first Walking Dead car chase, I think it is.
I mean, unless there was one in the Fear the Walking Dead, but I don't know if we're counting that.
I don't think that necessarily counts just yet.
But like, I don't know, man. I don't think so.
But did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was cool.
I mean, I didn't have a problem with it.
It wasn't outrageous.
Realistic
like
enough.
they didn't do it like outrageously. Like, I don't know, the 50 cal on the back of the truck. Like
not hitting anybody was ridiculous. Why was Rick's windshield not busted out? First shot.
Dude, I mean, like, I don't know, have you ever shot a gun? Like, it's not as easy as it looks.
No, I'm not saying that you're going to shoot with precision accuracy. But,
Right.
I mean, fuck's sake, you could get in the ballpark of a windshield with a 50 caliber weapon, you'd
Moving at
think.
40, 50 miles an hour, fucking on the back of a truck, like everything is moving. Everything's moving.
Yeah,
like you're
I
moving,
guess.
he's moving. Like, I don't think it, like, and dude, think about that. When you shoot a bullet, it's not like you can, like, it goes straight. It goes perfectly straight. Like, if you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's,
Right.
like, if you pull the trigger,
It's going that
and you
direction.
squeeze the gun this way a little bit, the bullet's going over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm aiming at you and I'm shooting
Yeah.
and pulling the trigger, it's shooting, somewhere else. It's not easy to do.
You just think
Even firing a big ass like it would be so fucking difficult.
Yeah, I mean, God, it just, I don't know. It seems ridiculous that they're shooting something mounted to a, I don't know. It seems like you'd be able to just go straight across and hit everything in the path.
Yeah, it seems that way. Yeah.
So then Rick does the most ridiculous thing in this.
It is that way in video games. I don't think it's like way in real life.
Where he pulls up next to him and jumps into the vehicle and beats the shit out of him. And
right, like the Matrix. Like it's like
is that what that was?
Lawrence Fishburne from the Matrix? No, I mean it's like if you saw that scene, you'd be like, "What are you talking about?"
Right?
Because that scene is totally ridiculous.
So Rick just lets his truck, his Jeep, which I think fine, let it go. It was a stick. That's not practical in a zombie apocalypse. Having a stick shift. Makes
I don't think
sense.
he would have like selected that vehicle. Like, yeah, that's the one. It was just
I
the
know.
only one running within the vicinity of whatever it was at.
Right.
Whatever.
I mean, you have to waste a hand and a foot all the time. Just one foot for gas. That's it. I've never seen the point of...
So what? It's been like 3 years, right?
What are you thinking? We should be running out of gas?
Well, there's still going to be like cars sitting around with gas in them that'll run for a little while, like or somebody
eventually,
filled it up,
like basically what we're saying with gas is like unless you can get it pumped out of the ground at a gas station, which
Right.
I don't think they would do
like
anymore.
with the power out. Like I don't think that works.
Right. So
Yeah.
what we're saying is basically okay. All the gas that's out now is it. Like that's it. Whatever's out here.
I imagine that somebody could figure
out
out how to do it because, like, I don't imagine that they were always like powered by electricity. So somebody
I'm sure they've
somebody
pumped them
knowledgeable,
out.
like knowledgeable of what they're doing,
Right.
would be able to. But like with there being so few people, like it's not like everybody needs a car. So like they're few and far between.
I
But
would
like
like-
what I'm getting at is all the cars are all so dusty and all beat up and stuff like that. Is like 3 years really take that much toll? Like it's only been 3 years, right? Like that's.
something like that.
Something like
yeah.
that.
I mean, maybe it's still in year 2. I thought I saw something a couple episodes ago talking about day 680 or something. So we're not even at 2 years. But I mean, at some point we have to have some time jumps because of the whole Carl growing up thing. It doesn't,
Carl growing up.
He was so small when the show started,
Right.
and now he's huge.
It fits to me, man. I don't
Yeah?
know. Like, I guess it's okay, but it just seems like it's been a lot longer than that, I guess.
Right.
If it's only been 2 years, that's like, whoa. But, dude, like, I'm telling you, like, when they hit the little growth spurt, it happens fast. Like,
Right.
I mean, Kenzie went from, like, kid to, like, teenager in no time. Like,
Yeah. That's
you
why
know?
they ditched Walt off of Lost after the first season. Like,
because
oh
he, like,
shit.
grew like a foot. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't really fit
We
the role.
need you to be bending down,
Right,
in
with
kneeling in
film
a
from
boat.
upward,
Yeah.
right.
So they crash off the road, and Rick lives, and they got the guns. So the last scene is, well, not the last scene, but King Ezekiel, Jerry, and Carol. King Ezekiel and Gerald. He lays down and tells him to go on without him for like the 15th time, it feels like. Just fucking stand up. God.
Right.
But I mean, I get it. He's
conflicted.
He's tired of doing this. He's tired of being the king
well,
because of
especially
all
after
the people
watching,
he got
like,
killed.
yeah. Well, like, he was so, like, amused with himself right before that.
No, that was all part of the act, though. He wasn't amused. He wasn't really feeling that confident or that braggadocious. He knew he had to be to get anybody to even consider fighting for him the way that he's needing them to fight for him.
Yeah,
And-
but like right before that happened, like he looked around and said to himself, "Not a one, not one." He wasn't saying it, he was saying it to himself.
I see.
So like that's not being braggadocious. If you're saying that to yourself,
But
you're
could he have been
actually
trying to
believing
convince
that.
himself?
I think he had convinced himself at
Oh,
that
okay.
moment, like that very moment. He'd be like, "Man, we did this shit," and then like realized the very next moment, when
Yeah, I mean,
right
shit,
before
maybe
he
you
yelled
need to.
"scatter,"
Yeah.
you know, and it's fucked up. Everybody got killed. Everybody they left with, except for Jerry and Carol.
And that one guy, I mean, he did.
he got killed
he
too,
did
though,
get
like,
killed
yeah.
eventually, but yeah, like in that one blast
One
of the 50
fucking-
calibers. Imagine if they shot that into our people, so to speak, into Rick's
Yeah.
people. That'd be
I
devastating.
mean, like your armored cars aren't helping at that point. Those things are meant to take down tanks. That's what those
That's
things
why
are
they're
made
trying
for.
to get those guns.
They have to have those guns. They do now. They got
No,
'em.
I mean that's why the saviors were trying to get those guns is so that they could then combat what they were being attacked with in the armored cars and, the walker attacks. Like, they needed something a little bigger to wipe some shit out.
They had those guns.
Scales.
Like, they had them.
But get them back to the sanctuary.
To the sanctuary.
Yeah.
They need them to free Negan.
So they're still dealing with a herd, and they stumble through a toxic-seeming area with a river and toxic barrels. And King Ezekiel tries to stay behind again. Like, fucking... and he's like, I'm not your king. I'm not your majesty. I ain't no king. I ain't nothing. I'm just some guy.
In his regular voice. Like, he goes back to the regular voice at that point. Like, the one he talked to Carol
like scared.
in last season.
Like, almost.
Like, I'm about to die. Like, he was about to give his life so they could get away. Which is admirable. It is.
It was the complete decrowning of the king in this whole episode.
But then saved by his trump card. Oh, I hate that phrase now. Saved by his pocket ace.
Otherwise known as a trump card. So Shiva comes in and starts killing walkers. And I was like, oh shit, she better not be eaten. Fuck. Then we see Shiva's blood running in the water. I was filming just in case you did anything crazy in terms of your reaction when she died. I just put my knee up and just kind of slid it over and just.
I was just like, no.
You're just like, no. Yeah, it wasn't anything.
That sucks.
Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting.
It really sucks.
But yeah, it kept going for so long because it was like, oh, she could still get out. She could still get out.
There was the one scene where you see like an opening, like run, just get out, just dash out of there. Fuck.
And the king,
that really sucked. I was really bummed out by that.
I'm making the distinction here. Ezekiel yelled for her to hurry up, and get out of there, and that didn't happen. So I think it's very beautiful that Shiva sacrificed herself for the person who risked sacrificing himself to help
save her. Oh, it was a beautiful death, and saving his life at the same time. Like letting them get away.
She made the leap into a thing,
into a pit. There you go. Yeah,
I just thought of that right now.
Wow. Yeah, it was. I was like coming to it at the same time. Yeah, into a pit, just like he described. Yeah, very.
She probably didn't hesitate.
Poetic. No, she didn't hesitate.
Exactly.
The coolest part right before she did do something really cool and she grabbed the fucking thing,
holy shit,
ate its face, and then just fucking threw it in the fucking air. Like that shit was ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it should have easily been able to get out of there.
Okay, had she lived.
Okay.
She ate toxic zombies.
Ate or bit?
She
and
bit them,
and
but
spit out, maybe. I don't know.
Like some of that's getting down.
Right. No, fair enough. But unless she got cut in her mouth while she was doing it, then maybe swallowing the blood is not good for you in the same way as getting it in a cut.
That's what you mean, you think swallowing a zombie blood would make you turn into a zombie?
I don't know.
See,
I know it would make
because
you sick.
There's been plenty of fucking times where
they fed them
they've been pigs. Covering
zombie pigs. Remember
what?
They fed the saviors zombie pigs, where the pigs had eaten walkers and gotten all bloated. Richard sent them. Did Richard die? Where the fuck is Richard at?
Yeah, Richard died.
Richard died?
Yeah, fucking Morgan choked him to death.
Oh, that's right.
Hands.
Okay, fair enough.
Because he set up the whole thing, and that's why the kid got killed.
Gotcha. Okay.
By the long-haired hippie guy.
But when he was in charge of that stuff at the time, and they made sure to fill the pigs with rot, as he called it. Remember?
Right, but
they sent them to go with the saviors, so presumably they were going to eat them.
But did it get sick? Did they get sick?
No, I was meaning the people would have eaten and probably not become zombies. It would just make you sick, I would think.
Okay.
So Shiva would have probably been ill, but not turned into a zombie unless she got scratched, at which point she's eaten and it's done.
But we haven't seen any animal zombies in this show.
Correct.
So, I don't think even she would have got bit or scratched.
No, lived. She wouldn't have become a zombie. No. She would have died.
Right.
I mean, maybe she would have reanimated. I don't know.
We haven't seen that.
Right,
because I think if that was the case, we would have seen that happen by now.
But when animals, when they die or get killed, aren't they, eaten relatively? You know what I mean? Especially if they're hunted, they're being killed and then eaten. I don't know. I guess it would be cool if we found that out at some point.
I would have think they would have brought that in at some point already.
Right, zombie.
They would have brought that
animals.
Element in.
That'd be crazy.
Zombie
though.
dogs.
If you open that up,
well, then you're turning into Resident Evil at that point.
Oh, is that what? That's the difference
with zombie dogs in Resident Evil.
Okay.
Like it was the iconic thing. Like when you first played that game and you're walking through this hallway and one of those fucking things jumps through a window at you and scares the shit out of you. Like, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, so if they opened it up to animals, it'd be crazy. Then they'd have so much to deal with.
Then does that can they run or do they just kind of walk like the brain?
I would imagine zombies? They walk like the brain, but still.
So like what?
You're surrounded by a pack of zombie wolves
who just walk at you. Like it'd be a lot less terrifying than fucking
regular
actual wolves
wolves
who could fucking surround you in a pack and eat you.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
like I mean, like a zombie tiger that just waddles after you, like you could just turn around and like come on, they got away from a crowd of zombies with a brisk walk.
Fair enough.
Like really, like come on. If it's a real tiger and can hunt you down, that's a lot more terrifying than actual like zombie. No, if like we had this discussion last time. Like if the zombies could run, we're fucked.
Oh yeah,
like,
it's a different show.
If there's zombies, animals, okay, let's add another rule to that list. If there's zombie animals, we're fucked.
Yeah,
zombie apocalypse, zombies can run. Zombie animals, we're fucked list is if they can run or if there's zombie animals or both, we're totally fucked.
We're fucked list.
He's right. The we're fucked list.
If zombies can run. If
I love that he's making this an actual list.
If animals became zombies.
Right.
Yeah, that's the we're fucked list.
The we're fucked list.
So they make it
we're fucked. Just to be clear, the we're fucked list is if the zombie apocalypse actually happened.
And this
is a list of the things that if these things happen during the zombie apocalypse, we're totally fucked.
Yeah, like then it's over. There's no fighting humanity.
If we're good with walkers, like if they're just walking herds and yeah, you can deal with that. If they can run or they're zombie animals, we're fucking toast.
Right.
Moving on.
So they make it back to the kingdom, just the three of them,
which is a cool shot with the gates opening up and just the three of them walking through.
Right, and the other people are going, what? Where's everybody? Where's everybody?
Come on, you know.
Yeah, they're fucking dead.
Like, yeah, you know what? They're just waiting around the corner. It's a big joke. Sorry, guys.
They wanted to surprise you.
We just were fucking with you. No. Like, they come back covered in blood. Like, you can't, like, you really got to stand there and be like, what happened? Like, come on.
Yeah,
you know what happened.
People gather around him, blah, 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 and then
But he doesn't have a speech
walks
this
away.
time.
No, he just walks away. He's not, I mean, sorry. Ezekiel walks away.
Right.
He's not the king anymore.
He's not the king Ezekiel anymore.
And I mean that in the best way possible. He's evolved beyond that now. He's now going to be a productive member of the group, I think, rather than having to be the leader. Carol's clearly, I don't know, she feels like the leader in this.
Almost done.
She feels like the leader in the remaining group at this
Reluctantly,
point.
Though. Like, she doesn't want that.
Those are the best leaders, though, honestly.
You're absolutely correct, yeah.
Yeah. The best leaders be the reluctant. So I'm going to take the reluctant lead and end this podcast. We'll be back next week. Like I said, subscribe on iTunes. Go to comeuppance.com or thisishowtowatchtv.com or whatever and check out all the other stuff. Subscribe on YouTube and check out all the Jay and Jack links at jayandjack.com. And we will see you next week because...
This is how to watch TV.
See you later.
All these memories in my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.